So with me closing in on 1,000 hours on War Thunder, I thought I would look back and reflect and make a video about stuff I wish I knew before I started playing War Thunder, or stuff I knew when I was just a beginner, so that it would have helped me with my progress and helped me where I should have been putting points. So I'm not going to waste any more time, so let's get into it. The first thing I wish I knew was the difference between your major nations of War Thunder and your minor nations of War Thunder. So your major nations are USA, the Soviet Union, Germany, Britain, France, and Sweden, and your minor nations of War Thunder are Italy, China, Israel, and Japan. Now, the biggest difference between a major and a minor nation is how many tanks and aircraft are in the tech tree. So obviously major nations are going to have more tanks at more BRs compared to minor nations, which might skip a few BRs just because they don't have the amount of tanks that the major nations do. Another thing I wish I knew before I started playing War Thunder was BR ratings, and what do they mean, and what does that mean when there's one on a tank. So BR ratings basically mean battle ratings, are where Gaijin has put a tank, basically a number attached to it on a tech tree. So there's like, it goes through 1 all the way to 11, 7 for ground BR. For planes, it's higher. I think it's 12.0 or 12.3. Now, essentially, battle ratings mean for your tank is that Gaijin has put a battle rating on it so it can go against other tanks of the same battle rating. So, for example, Tiger H1 is going to go against other 5.3 tanks of other nations. So, Gaijin gave it the 5.3 battle rating because it thinks it can go against all of the other 5.3 tanks and thinks the 5.3 tanks can go against it. Now, an important thing to note about BR ratings is that every single BR rating has a learning curve, whether that is through the rounds that are different at each BR, the armor that's different, just the tanks in general being different, and the technology as you progressively go up BRs getting newer and more advanced. Another key thing about BR ratings is that you can go up one full BR rating. So if you're at 5.3, you can go up to 6.3, and you can also go down to 4.3. So you can see 4.3 tanks while you're at 5.3, and you can see 6.3 tanks. All right, now on to another thing I wish I knew. So when you're in the main menu, you should be able to have this little tab over here that clicks expand, and you can click armor, which shows you the armor of your current vehicle. And you can also do this for tanks you haven't unlocked. So for example, on this M48 Super, you can go preview, then it should be on armor, and then you can do a protection analysis, and then you can click this little button on any tank, and it shows you with the round you have currently selected where you can pen. And you can switch the tanks from each rank, and you can switch country. So I can go USA, go Merkava, and then click, I don't know, this APFSDS round, and then you can click protection map again, and it will show you the protection map of where you can pen. So that's just something else I wish I knew so I could, properly learn how to pen tanks. And it also shows you shell damage, which is something very different, which differs from round to round. So if you ever wanted to know, which Great Britain historically has quite a bit of solid shot, so you could go like this and see what's the damage of when the tank you're shooting gets hit by solid shot. It's just a really nice thing to know. Helps you out a lot. Helps you understand where to pen things, and can overall make your gameplay experience a lot better, especially if you're not interested in arcade battle and you're more interested in ground realistic battle. Another thing I wish I knew were the differences between ground arcade battle and ground realistic battle. Some of the main differences between ground arcade battle and ground realistic battle are the speed of the tanks, are how planes spawn in. Also, ground arcade battle shows you where you can pen enemies where ground realistic battle does not. Ground arcade battle also automatically shows you the distance of your enemy, where in ground realistic battle you either have to range find or just guess. Also, in ground arcade battle, you can go against any nation, including the nation that you are currently playing, where in ground realistic battle it's nation specific. So you're gonna have the USA and Soviets, and then on the other teams can be like Germany, Britain, France. So there's just differences in who you're gonna go against. But let's go into some more specifics. So for the speed of the tanks, it's just Ground Arcade is faster. You're going to move around the map faster compared to Ground Realistic Battle, where you're just slower, more realistic to the actual speed of the tanks IRL. Now, the planes are different because in Ground Arcade Battle, you can choose between what type of plane you'd like to be in, where in Ground Realistic Battle, you have to own the plane in the air tech tree, and then you can bring it in after you have enough spawn points. The showing of where you can pen enemies is kind of self-explanatory. If it's green, that means you can obviously go through it. You'll shoot, you'll pen. Yellow means you have a chance. Red means you cannot pen. That's just Ground Arcade. Ground Realistic doesn't have that. You just have to know where to pen the tank. Now, in Ground Arcade Battle, it does show you the distance of the tank that you're trying to look at. Like if you're looking at an enemy and they're 400 meters away, it will say in the sight they're 400, and they'll also show you the drop off of how far 400 is away. Where in Ground Realistic Battle, you just have to know. Ground Realistic Battle gives you more RP and more silver lines compared to Ground Arcade, which just doesn't, because it babies you more. So you're able to get kills a lot faster than Ground Realistic Battle. Another thing I wish I knew was that you should not buy a higher BR tank when you are first playing the game. I didn't specifically do that. I had a couple hundred hours under my belt before I even bought a premium tank. So I've just seen a lot of people who buy premium tanks who are very new to the game and don't do very well, and then leave the game because they just get dunked on by veterans who know how to play the game, who understand higher BRs. Don't really buy a higher BR tank unless you have friends who are willing to teach you how to do that, or you're really willing to try to take a step back and learn. But that isn't to say if you do like War Thunder and you would like to, speed up your progress a little bit more, you can always buy premium. Though I'm not associated with War Thunder, they don't sponsor me or anything. I'm just saying, if you think you'd like to progress a little bit faster, you can always just buy premium. A lot of people do. I have premium because I like playing the game and I like having progress a little bit faster, but that's just me. You don't have to buy anything. It's a free game. It's not required. All right, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.